Yo, what's up? This your boy Derek Branch here of Saint Discussions on Strike 7 Sports. In today's video, I just want to talk about Saints wide receiver, second year pro, Chris Olave. Wide receiver coming off his first season in the National Football League, over 1,000 yards receiving, for only 4 touchdowns, 14.5 yards, 14.5 yards, average yards per game, a catch. NFL, 72 receptions, tied for third in the league. That guy, Chris Olave, and this video is about questioning if Olave is going to emerge as one of the NFL's top wide receivers. You know, is this a year that he comes in within that upper echelon of wideouts in the league? The Justin Jeffersons, the Jamar Chases, the AJ Browns, Devontae Smiths. Yeah, Devontae Smith ain't between. There's not really much of a huge gap between Devontae Smith and Chris Olave, in my opinion. The Christian Kirks, those type of players, in the NFL right now. Um, it's something to think about, and people. This was brought up last year as well during the draw of the year. These certain conversations about, is Chris Olave, going to be a WR1, a true WR1, or is he, more of a number two in the NFL as a wide receiver? You know what I'm saying? I think we'll find out. I think we're gonna find out that out this season. And some people have, certain criticisms of Olave's game, to saying, well, he doesn't. He's more of a, I heard one person, like, I think it's Bob Bear, mentioned that Olave has a lot of Brandon Cooks in him, where he doesn't like to get, take a lot of those shots across the middle, those chances. He's just more of a straight line guy, down the field, hitting wide open, get behind the defender, take it to the house. Those type of wide receivers. To me, man, I think he has a little more upside than uh, Brandon Cooks. And Brandon Cooks had put up some solid numbers, man, throughout his time in the National Football League. Model of consistency, always getting 1,100 yards receiving, dozen TDs, but he just, for some reason, he's always on a different team, you know. But I think Olave has a little more to his game. He can do. He's more tool, more thing, more. He can go into his tool bags and find more things to build upon, find more things to utilize as a receiver compared to Brandon Cooks, in my opinion. You know, Cooks wasn't a guy that you could throw it to him on 3rd and 5, 3rd and 7, and get up a first down. Because he didn't like to go across the middle. You know, I think Olave is more willing to do that. Um, but the thing is, with Olave, he's not a guy that's going. He's not a contested catch wide receiver. If it was based on what I've seen so far, and maybe that changes this year. As in the offseason, work on those certain aspects of his game, bulk up a little more. That may change. But Olave is an integral part of the Saints offense. However, this is why it's so important to get Michael Thomas back on the field, 100% healthy, because his presence on the field can open things up for a guy like a Chris Olave, because he commands double teams. A guy like Michael Thomas, he commands a lot of double teams, you know, and that can open things up for Chris Olave. Like I said in the other video, where he's a guy that can separate, a guy that can do some work in the slot. You can put him on the outside, doesn't matter to me. and he can make some plays, you know. And this year, even though it's his second year, he's still young in the league, you know. This is a year where you find out if, hey, maybe we need to add more to this receiving room in the future, or Olave is our guy going forward. You know, Michael Thomas, maybe Michael Thomas has a nice, a solid bounce back year, and you re-sign Michael Thomas, and I think if you bring back Michael Thomas, going into 2024, I think he is your WR1. I think he's your WR1. Olave is your two. Rashid Shaheed is your guy coming out of the slot. You know, and on your kick return, slash point return duties to me. But we'll see how it play out. But I'm expecting some big things out of this guy because the Saints gave up a lot to get this guy, a lot, and a lot of people, certain people, certain Saints talking heads feel as though the Saints, give up too much for Chris Olave. They could have taken Olave, but they didn't have to give up what they gave up to make it happen. And some people believe that some people really want this guy to turn out to be like a Jerry Rice type. Like when I say Jerry Rice, put up Jerry Rice like numbers, and that's because of what you gave up what you gave up in the draft to move up and take it. They want to see this guy put up Jerry Rice numbers, Antonio Brown numbers, and Antonio Brown when he was, in his prime numbers, or Julio Jones numbers. You know what I'm saying? Larry Fitzgerald type numbers. Is he capable of doing that? You know what I'm saying? Because in my opinion, you don't give up what the Saints gave up to draft a WR2. A WR2. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? He needs to be a guy that could be a if he's a WR2, can he be a guy that can take on WR1 duties? Despite his stature at 6'1". Can he be an Antonio Brown where he's a smaller receiver, but he's a threat to a defense. He's a headache to deal with every Sunday. Can he be that type of receiver? Like an Antonio Brown, where he can put up 115 catches, 16, 1,700 yards, 12 TDs. Can he put them type of numbers up? You know, because I agree to that a certain extent, that narrative to a certain extent, that the guy needs to be putting up Larry Fitzgerald, Jerry Rice, Julio Jones type numbers based on what you gave up for him. You know what I'm saying? You know, but we'll see how it play out. What's done is done. They made it. Maybe that should have not happened like that, but it did. So, and Loomis, the Saints general manager, he doubled down on taking a lot of that high in the draft. And some people around the league, certain league analysts and all that, view Olave as a number two, as a WR2. You know, but I think I feel like he had as though he had a solid rookie season. To me, in my opinion, given what the Saints was working with at quarterback, you know, he could have had a lot more touchdowns than what he had. Got 1,000 yards receiving, got 72 receptions. Solid season for a rookie. So we'll see how it play out, man. And also, man, just looking at the Saints wide receiver depth chart right here, man. This is a lot right here. This is a stacked wide receiver room. You got Olave, Kawan Baker, Shaquan Davis, Brian Edwards, Malik Flowers, Keith Kirkwood, Kirk Merritt, A.T. Perry, Rashid Shaheed, Traquan Smith, Michael Thomas, James Washington. This is a loaded wide receiver room, man. This is a loaded wide receiver room. But I think this is all about preparing yourself if if Michael Thomas suffers another setback. This is what it's all about, you know. And to me, this is good. This is better than preparing yourself, putting yourself in a better situation compared to last season and the season prior to that, where he had one of the worst wide receiver rooms in the league. You know, so we'll see how it play out, man. I'm hoping Olave takes the next step in his career and he becomes one of those players that play in the Saints uniform for the next 10 to 12 years. Well, how long he stays and decides to stay in the National Football League, that it beats with the Saints. So we'll see. All right, so all I have for y'all for right now, man. Give me a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Let me know how y'all feel. Do you think Chris Olave will emerge this season as one of the NFL's top wideouts? The younger wideouts in the game. Also, check out strike7sports.com/Saints for latest content on the Saints organization. Have a blessed night. Peace. I'm out. Who that?